Welcome to segments of an intro presentation on how to reset in the workplace or home space. This presentation was recorded at a live event, so it does have some background noise that we have reduced as much as we can. It has been edited for this online platform as well as for the privacy of those in attendance. Please note this is for informational purposes only and is to be used at your own discretion. Hey, you. You're probably here because you're ready for or wanting a reset of sorts in your life. Maybe things are really hard right now, and you've been asking for that thing that will make it better or different, or at least make the path forward somewhat more clear. Maybe things are mostly good, but you want to up-level your career or your relationships. I hear you. I've reset from both of those places, from a place of feeling good and ready for more, as well as from a place of really struggling and needing something to change or else. I'm Dr. Toni. If you've never heard of me before, I'm a mom of four, licensed brain spotting certified and trauma trained clinician in the states of Pennsylvania and Delaware. I'm an educator, speaker, best-selling author, and success mentor for leaders, achievers, and parents, among other things. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a glimpse into the beginning stages of the reset process that's outlined in my best-selling book, The Reset, A High Achiever's Guide to Freedom and Fulfillment. It's a customizable roadmap for getting unstuck or for up-leveling, and you can find it on Amazon if you're interested. Stick around until the end of this video, and you'll find additional resources that are going to help you continue this reset process that you begin here today. Let's get started. We're here talking today about what a reset is and how we can get that experience in our lives. And the reason this is important is because how many people in here have not faced any kind of challenge in their life? That's what I thought. How many people in here are not currently navigating some kind of transition or anticipate navigating some kind of transition coming up in their life? We all are going to be experiencing some kind of uncertainty in our lives. We're all going to be experiencing some kind of transition, some kind of challenge. It's happening for all of us. But when that happens, things can get really challenging for us, even if it's a good transition. I want us to first start out to set the frame of our conversation today with what you were hoping to gain by being here. And it's the first question that's on your handout. That's going to help us set the frame, not just for you, but also for me to be able to support you in answering any questions, needs, and desires that you're bringing forth today. And I just want you to write down if there were maybe any particular hopes that you had when you learned that you're going to be talking about a reset today, or questions, or curiosities, or excitement, or fear, whatever that was for you, to write that down and to be honest with yourself about it. And then the second part of that question is to write down if you have any particular intentions that you would like to set for our time together today. My focus is meaningful, impactful, gain some clarity to help you with supporting other people. Thank you. Anyone else? Intentions for today? I love that. This is along the lines of clarity as well. Kind of get some clarity in what direction. And being able to kind of hop back in when you're feeling less productive so that you can become more efficient when you're feeling like you kind of fell off. Okay, this is a great start. Now would be a good time to pause the video, get something to write with and something to write on, and to reflect on these questions. It would be a really great idea to do that throughout this video, as there are questions that you can ask yourself so that this can be a truly customized experience for you and allow it to be much more helpful for you than if you were to just listen and not reflect personally on the questions that come up. Of course, only do so if it is safe, not if you are driving or doing something else operating machinery. I want to share a couple stories with you to kind of get your wheels, your gears turning a little bit. And as I share these stories, yes, they're my stories, but they're also about helping you to connect with whatever it is that's coming up within you. Whether that is an experience that you're currently navigating or one that you've had in the past. Nearly 16 years ago, I was a resident assistant in undergrad. I looked like I had it all together. And I was on honors, and I was a social butterfly, and I was involved in a ton of things, and everyone thought that I was good. I was up for a ton of awards. But that's not how I felt. What it felt like for me was that it didn't matter how much I did as much as I possibly could and more. It still wasn't enough. And so I had this sense of loneliness, and I felt like I just needed the answer to the question, did I fulfill my purpose in this life? Am I done? Did I already do it? And so I had pills and scissors in my hand, and that wound me up in a mandatory hospital stay. It was not a pleasant experience. And when I left that hospital, I had this feeling, I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time, but I had this feeling, this anger inside of me, because I was in this position where I was exploring social work, right? And so I knew that I wanted to go into that field, and yet I went into the hospital to get help, and it was not that experience, and I was angry. And so I had this new kind of fire within me, this new kind of renewed purpose, and a reset for me began. It wasn't the kind of reset that I had anticipated, but a reset for me began. And then I'm going to step us back 10 years from now. 10 years from where I'm at today. I was planning my DIY wedding, don't recommend, and had my second, and had switched into a job where I loved the work, but the supervisor that I was working under had these really toxic micromanaging practices, and it was eating away at me. And so I started driving into work having panic attacks. I was losing chunks of hair in the shower until I finally decided enough is enough. And so I heard these stories from other people. I'm like, why are my colleagues not saying something? Other people are experiencing that. And I decided I can't do this anymore. So at the end of that 1-year contract, I scheduled a session, a conversation with the director. I spoke up, I spoke out, and I shared my experience. And I left without a job in place, which was not like me at the time. I decided that wasn't working anymore, and it was time for a reset, personally and professionally for me. About 6 years ago, I had my third baby. I completed my PhD, had a good job. It was well paid, it was a salary position, good time off, all that good stuff. I reached all my lofty goals, but I did not feel fulfilled. It wasn't like something bad had happened. It just, why? Like, I'm not feeling fulfilled. Something is off. Something needs to change. This way isn't working anymore. And so I decided to take a leap of faith and enter the world of entrepreneurship. It wasn't part of my 5-year plan or anything like that, but I did. I opened my private practice, and another reset started to unveil itself. And then a handful of years ago, my marriage was totally on the rocks. Totally. And I had to make some hard decisions. And I was feeling a lot of things: anger, frustration, loneliness, a ton of things. But I decided I couldn't keep doing it that way anymore. And so, another life-changing, heart-deepening, incredibly challenging reset was born. And then last year, I had my fourth baby. We moved into a new home, a new school district, one that's significantly less diverse than the one that we were in before. And that brought with it its own challenges, as my oldest is my teenage daughter. And being the new girl and one of the only minorities is a difficulty. And so I had to learn how to navigate raising 4 children, the oldest of whom is a teenager, the youngest of whom is a baby that needs to be fed every few hours, while also running my business, right? And being the present therapist, the present mentor, and the present partner that I want to be. The old way was not going to work anymore. This was just different. This was just new. And so I chose to embark on another reset journey.
A reset looks different for each of us, and it can be related to health, wealth, relationships, work, etc. A reset can be related to bigger life shifts that I've shared here in some of my stories, but it can also be something you want on a smaller scale in the moments of your day to day life. There's no right or wrong here. It is whatever it is for you.
These are just some of my resets that I began to embark upon, the journeys I experienced in my life. But they were all sparked by some kind of challenge or transition or change that was happening. And so as I've shared some of my stories with you, what I want to hear from you all, if you're willing to share, or if you want to write it down, that's okay, you don't have to share. But what is the challenge? What is the stressor? What is the transition that you are navigating or being affected by right now? The one that's coming up in your mind while I'm talking to you. Maybe it's at home. Maybe it's as a parent or a partner. Maybe it's within yourself or related to your health. Maybe it's work related. Maybe you are a fellow entrepreneur, or maybe there's some things that are happening in the workplace that you are navigating. Maybe it's with regard to your community, your neighborhood, your church, or something else.
There is always a reason for a reset. When you want a reset because things need to change, get better, or be different, then the reasons for your reset are connected to some sort of stressors or challenges or changes or transitions that you're experiencing and focused upon. But there is always a reason for a reset.
If anybody is willing or wanting to share maybe a stressor, challenge, transition that you are navigating, we love to hear it. And you're going to hear me ask that question often, and here's the reason why. Sharing our stories doesn't just give us an opportunity to gain clarity, to feel inspired, to be able to heal some of the things that we have been through and experienced. It does all those things, but it doesn't just do all of that. It also, because we're sharing our stories and we're being vulnerable and open in that way, it creates a safe space for others to do the same. And so it's a twofold benefit.
While there are many benefits to sharing our stories in safe environments, it's important that it's done by choice and not by force. Stories shared in this live presentation have been edited out to preserve the sharer's privacy. However, I have included some of my feedback and paraphrasing of the shared stories for you to benefit from, which is what I'm doing in this next brief segment.
By raise of hands, can anybody resonate with stepping into a new position or a position that someone else was in before, whatever that might be? Maybe it's not necessarily business related. Maybe it's you stepped into motherhood and you feel like you have some big shoes to fill there. Whatever it is for you, can anybody resonate with kind of feeling like you tackle one thing and then the cinder blocks kind of get tagged on? Yes, absolutely, right? That's why sharing is important. Because you feel so alone in your experience if you don't get a place to share safely, right? So I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Does it ever feel like,
with all the stressors, the challenges, the changes, the things that you're navigating, almost like life is trying to force a reset on you, and you're like, my gosh, this is just so much. Does it ever feel that way? Has anybody ever felt that way? And it could be good too. It could be like this big promotion or this big grant or this big opportunity, right? This is a good position, right, that you just stepped into. It could be a good thing, and still you could feel that way, right? And so many heads nodding, right? Right? Sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it feels like life is forcing a reset upon us. I'm going to drop a nugget for you. Hold on to this one, okay? It's a little bit hard to wrestle to the ground, but it's true. It can feel this way because there are so many unexpected stressors, changes, transitions, challenges that we feel woefully unprepared for, overwhelmed by, angry about, resentful of, confused about. Why did that happen? Wanting to know why. Why is it happening? Or how? How is it happening? But the truth is, while challenges and changes and transitions, they do and they will happen without our control and without our consent. It's going to be the case, right? No one can force a reset upon us, not even the source of life itself. No one can force a reset upon us because a reset is not about the conditions that are happening to us. A reset is about how we respond how we learn and how we grow. And to take that away would be to revoke free will, and that's just not going to happen. It can be hard to swallow, but it's also empowering because it means that we get some choice in the matter, even when we feel like there's so much uncertainty, so much unknown, so much happening, so many cylinder blocks, right? That we don't have control over it, and we're not consenting of all this stuff happening to us in our lives. That we do have some choice in this. And that's empowering, and it's very important.
Just to quickly recap that, challenges, transitions, stressors, changes, and the like, they may have sparked your wanting a reset. But experiencing a reset is not about controlling all of those things, those transitions, challenges, changes, and all that stuff. In other words, conditions can create opportunities for us to reset, but the actual reset itself, it's not going to happen without our saying yes to it, without our choosing that we want to experience a reset.
So if we define a reset, to help clarify this a little bit more, a reset, if you were to reset, it would be to make this conscious choice. Oftentimes it's these like mini choices that you have to make over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like you have to renew the choice. But sometimes it doesn't quite feel like that. But it's a conscious choice. It's a deliberate choice. Okay? To embark on a journey in a different or deeper way. And it challenges us and it requires us. Okay? So it's both going to challenge and require that we embrace some things. Awareness, which means looking at the guk and the good. Curiosity, which means rather than condemning and criticizing, we are coming with a curious heart and a curious compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves too. Hope, faith, acceptance, and some other ones. But we're going to leave that there for now. Because those are challenging, especially if any of you are like me and you have a history of like to get things done, like to be in control, like see something, fix it, figure out the problem, right? Like it's something that us women, tend to do. I once read something someone said, and I'm not going to quote it exactly because I don't remember exactly, but it's something like us women who were raised to be, we were told that we could do anything and be everything, right? We could do anything, be everything. We took that in and we internalized that to believe we had to do everything and be everything, but we don't. So we have these things that happen in our lives that spark our desire, our wantingness to have a reset. I call them catalysts. You guys know what a catalyst is, right? Right? It's like something that propels us, that pushes us. That's the conditions, that's the stressors. Those are the transitions, the challenges, the ones that we can't control all of. They do happen in our lives, but then they can spark this sense that is like, I want more, I want different, or I want better in some way. That's what those things do. It might be an abusive experience. It might be a mental breakdown. It might be the loss of a loved one. It might be a new job. It might be a global pandemic. It might be a new medical diagnosis. It might be motherhood, grandmotherhood, marriage, retirement. It might be an exciting experience that's presented to you that you didn't expect. These can all serve as catalysts. They can spark us to want a reset. But when these things happen, this is a quick insert of a question. It's not on your sheet. How do you usually respond? How do you usually respond when there is a challenge or stressor or transition in your life that kind of maybe catches you off guard or feels anxiety-provoking or overwhelming? How do you usually respond? How do you usually handle it?
Since challenges, changes, transitions, stressors, and the like, they're going to happen in life. We can't control them all. We can't prevent them all. They're going to happen in life. What we need to know is how we currently react to or handle them, or what our pattern of reacting to and handling them is, and whether or not that is actually working for us if we really want to continue moving that forward. This is part of the awareness with compassion that is required for a reset. It can be challenging, but we must become more aware of how we are currently handling these things in our lives and whether or not we want to continue that. And we have to become aware from a place of compassion. That is going to go a mighty long way.
You might become addicted to action like I did. Didn't even know it, but I became addicted to action, which is really just a way of distraction. way of avoiding? Denial. It's not happening. Denial. It's not happening. Numbing yourself, right? These are all options. They don't feel like options because really it's like this is the reaction and this is what I was shown or this is what I was taught, this is what I was exposed to and so this is how I'm handling it. But a reset says we can handle it differently. I'm not going to do it perfect every time. Not possible. But we can handle it differently. We can experience it differently.
If you haven't already, now's a good time to pause and reflect again. Honestly, answer the questions that have been proposed so far.
Anybody willing to share a catalyst, a stressor, challenge, transition that is making you want a reset? If you didn't hear, she was saying they're doing a renovation project, and so they're staying in their basement, her 2 children, and her husband for like 4 months, kind of cooped up in the winter, and that's, whew, right? We love our children and our partners, but we also need space, right? We need that, right? Fling them in there, give me space, right? Right? Absolutely. And so when these things happen in our lives, whether it's connected to something good or it's connected to something bad, it can be difficult to figure out how to handle it because they can pull up these automatic reactions that we have. And so a reset says that different is possible, okay? Not only is it possible, but that you can choose it. It's not going to happen to you. It will happen through you, but you can choose it. And that's why this next question is really, really important. Because it's easy for us to get focused on all those things that are outside of our control, all of those catalysts that we're having reactions to. But instead, what I'm going to ask you to do is for a moment to pause, pull your imagination up, and ask yourself, if you could hit a reset button, do you even know what you would want to be different? Do you even know what you would want to be better, or for there to be more of, or what you would want to see changed in some way? Do you know? Because if you do not know, you cannot move towards it. If anything is coming up for you at all, write that down. Because we want to get clarity on it in order to move towards it. We want to shine a light on it, right? In order to see what direction to go.
After you've written down what you'd want to be different to indicate a reset has happened for you, go back and check what you wrote down. Check the areas that you were focused upon. Are you mostly wanting other people, things, or situations to change? Or were you mostly focused on how you'd show up, how you'd think or feel differently within yourself? This is part of the curiosity that a reset requires of us. It's also part of acceptance, accepting that focusing on that which we cannot control can actually backfire, and therefore helping us reorient to accepting what we can control, what will help us to focus upon when it comes to our reset.
It becomes human nature for us, we write about, well, this is the kind of reset I want. For us to write about, I would like my partner to act this way, I would like my kids to act this way, I would like the renovators to do this in this amount of time. Because it's really easy for us to focus on all of the other people, places, conditions, all those things, right? That we want to see change. Please raise your hand if you can control other people. Can you control all the conditions in your life? You can't, right? Which is why we have to be reminded again and again and again that a reset is not about controlling what's happening outside of us, even if what's happening outside of us is what's causing us to want a reset. That's hard, but it's necessary. We have to create some separation there. And that's where imagination can come in.
Surprise! Did you expect imagination to be a part of this reset process? Well, whether you did expect it or you didn't expect it, imagination acts as a key part of brain functioning that actually helps us humans to be able to see and think beyond what already exists. Think about it. It's how innovation happens. Someone somewhere imagined this thing, to created this idea, this concept in their mind before it actually came to fruition, right? And so it's really powerful, something that sometimes people misunderstand, underestimate, or scoff at. But imagination is part of this reset process because we want to reset in order for something to be more, to be different, to be deeper, to be better in some way. And that means we need to be able to see, think, or feel beyond what is currently existing.
When you can't yet take action, you can start here. Okay? So this is the last section I'm going to walk you through. It's going to be a visualization. It'll be a couple minutes, won't be long. Get comfortable in your seat. For a lot of people, that means your feet are flat on the floor, your spine is aligned, so you're not like super straight, but you're not also not like hunched over. So natural spine alignment. And you have two choices with your eyes. Okay? So the first choice is to close them. And the purpose of that is so that outside stimulation isn't coming in and battling, right, with your imagination, your visualization, connecting you to your reset. The other option is to just find a focal point that feels good to you, that you like in the room, and allow your eyes to gently gaze there. Again, same purpose. Okay? There's something called bilateral stimulation. It helps send soothing messages through your body, through your nervous system. And it's very simple. You can just tap your feet back and forth. You could tap your arms back and forth, make all these butterfly arms, or you could just tap back and forth on your lap. Okay?
In a moment, I'm going to briefly walk you through a visualization. Now, bilateral stimulation is a tool that can help deepen your experience, which I've just described, but it's not for everyone. So it's important that you listen to your body and do only what feels comfortable for you. You'll be using your imagination in this visualization, but do so only in ways that help you feel either some relief or goodness. This is not intended to feel fake or forced or uncomfortable in any way. If you want to continue this visualization after I have concluded, I'd encourage you to pause the video and go ahead and continue using your imagination to visualize. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe slowly out of your mouth. You've done it. You've hit your reset button. Something changed. You can feel it. It's pulsating through you, this different experience that you are feeling. You look around. You can just sense that it's different. Something is different. What do you notice? As you look around you, see what you see. Maybe there's certain people, certain places that are around you or on the horizon. Notice where you are located. Who are you with? Are you with anyone? Are there any smells, colors, or sounds that you notice and that you can take in? Notice how you're treating others, how you're feeling or thinking about others. How are you interacting with them, or how are you feeling your interactions with others in this reset are experienced? Notice how you're feeling towards yourself. How are you showing up? How are you moving through this experience? How are you feeling as you navigate this experience of a reset? How are you talking to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? What are you believing about yourself? Really notice how you're viewing yourself as you observe this experience.
to take it one step further, if you would like, we know that where you look actually affects how you feel when you're thinking or imagining or visualizing something. And so, from this place that you're at right now, as you connect with this positive emotion, energy, experience, whatever that is for you in your reset right now, maybe it's a sense of peace or calm or energization or something else. Whatever that is, notice what that feels like. And then go ahead. And it doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed. You don't even need to move your head. Just allow your eyes to drift and gaze to the left. And as your eyes settle into the left, notice if there's a shift in that experience with your reset. Just see as you notice inward if anything feels different or deeper. And then go ahead and allow your eyes to shift to the right. And as your eyes settle in and gaze to the right, open or close, notice if that positive experience shifts for you in any way. And then when you're ready, go ahead and allow your eyes to move to the center. Whether they're open or closed, go ahead and notice if this experience feels any different or deeper for you. Whichever spot, left, right, or center, that felt the strongest or the best for you. I'm going to go ahead and invite you to spend about 30 seconds with your eyes in that direction, allowing a gentle gaze or having your eyes closed, just having your eyes spend some moments in that direction, and allow this experience to deepen. Allow this experience of your reset to flood you, to cover you, to expand from within you, around you. Whatever way this looks or feels for you is just right for you. There's no wrong. It is what it is for you. When you're ready, go ahead and breathe deep in through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. And as you orient yourself back to this space that you're in right now, to the present moment, you can slowly open your eyes when you're ready. Come back to where you're at. And know that even in the face of uncertainty, whether things seem great, horrible, scary, pretty good, whatever they seem like they are, I'm here to tell you that if you desire a reset from whatever place you're in right now, it is possible. Do you believe it is possible? If you believe that experiencing more of what you are experiencing now is possible, then the seeds of your reset are being nourished right here, right now. The start and continuation of your reset is being nourished right here and right now. Take pen or pencil to paper and write down what you noticed. What did you observe about yourself within this reset visualization as you engaged with your imagination here?
How were you feeling? What sensations were you experiencing? What was your way of thinking or perceiving? Your thoughts about yourself, about others, about the world. How were you interacting? How were you handling things and moving through the world? Notice how you were being, how you were showing up in this reset visualization, and take note of that.
This is an opportunity for you to embrace how you're feeling right now.
Isn't it interesting that nothing has actually changed in your conditions right now, and yet you can feel different? There's so much power in that. From here, your reset journey can begin no matter how short or how long this reset journey may be for you. Your reset journey can begin right here. And if you would like to continue your reset journey, check out the resources that I've left at the end of this video for you. It has the additional concepts and steps and processes that will help guide you along this continued reset journey. But for now, enjoy. Enjoy the way that you feel. Enjoy the reset that you've begun.
Or if something came up for you today, you can go ahead and write down any clarity that came up for you. If there's an action step that came up for you, and I just want to insert a reminder here for you that sometimes the action step to take is no action. Sometimes the action step to take is to slow down. Sometimes the action step to take is to say no. Sometimes the action step to take is not in action at all. And so that resonates with you. That might be part of what's coming up for you in this next part of your reset. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, as promised, here are some resources to support you in deepening your reset journey if you would like to continue it. I have several of them for you, all right? The first one is a free PDF, and that PDF has the 8 core concepts that I walk you through in the Reset book, A High Achiever's Guide to Freedom and Fulfillment. And you can have that as a reference point for you as you continue along your reset journey. I'll leave the link below. You just click it, download it, and it's yours to reference and keep in whatever way works best for you. I also have the Reset audio course. Now, the Reset audio course is kind of like a hybrid. It's a course and an audiobook smushed into one. It's so much more than an audiobook, but not a full-fledged course where you feel like you have to dedicate hours and hours and hours of your time, all for weeks and days at a time. That's not what it is. It's a one-of-a-kind, self-paced, 10-week audio course hybrid with step-by-step guidance for each day that's going to help you continue this process of hitting your proverbial reset button, okay? It was crafted from years of personal and professional experience, and it incorporates science, soul, my own personal experiences, and so much more, which makes it a very profound experience. If you want to check that out, what I am offering is $5 off. It's currently priced at $50. So it's $5 off if you use code 5OFF, so the number 5 and then the letters OFF. And you can use that in order to get $5 off and grab your Reset audio course today. Inside, you're going to get accompanying PDF printouts to help with your notes and journaling. You're going to get a free ebook of the Reset, A High Achiever's Guide to Freedom and Fulfillment. You're going to get exclusive access to Q&A directly to me, as some opportunities to do that are presented throughout that course. And you're also going to get the segments of the reset process guided by me, by my voice, broken down for you so that you can do them in just a few minutes each day. It's not going to be impractical. It's going to be practical, which allows the process to be so powerful. You can check that out using the link below. I'm also going to share with you a video. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's on how high achievers can reset when feeling stressed or anxious or frustrated. And so it continues to build off of a little bit of what we've talked about here today. And if you want to check that video out,
you can use the link that I've shared with you below. Of course, if you're interested in purchasing the Reset book, it is available on Amazon. It looks like this right here. And you can grab that on Amazon at any time for yourself. But I also have additional resources on my website. If you want to check them out, there will always be a variety of resources there for you so that you can optimize your success while feeling more satisfied in your life using an approach that pulls together science, psychology, and soul. And you can find that at drtoniwarner.com. That's DrToniWarner.com. Thanks so much for being with me here today. I appreciate your time.